G'day, I'm Fieldsy and today we're going to weigh up travelling in a car versus a motorcycle. Wait, is this what we're really doing the video about today? It's just that we're a motorcycle channel. I kind of think we should do it from in a language that motorcyclists understand. G'day, I'm Fieldsy and today I'm going to tell you why you're a dickhead for riding a motorcycle a long way. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the cons. Why it's bad to ride a motorcycle a long way. Yeah, I know a lot of these can be overcome, but hey, my channel, my rules. You got less room for gear. You can't carry as much. You got to rough it a little bit. You got to use hiking gear instead of proper full-on camping gear. You can't pick up things when you're out there. You know that giant golden Buddha statue that you found in the flea market? Yeah, you can't take that home. It's uncomfortable. Let's face it, when I'm on a motorbike, after about half an hour, my butt gets sore. I got this weird thing going on where I'm a fat bald guy with a bony ass. Just imagine a green tree frog has pulled on a pair of climb riding pants. That's what I look like. It ain't pretty. Nobody want to see that. Security. You're constantly worrying about people stealing your shit. You can't go look at anything. You see something and it's a 10-minute walk. No, my shit's on my bike. Literally, everything you own right now is strapped to that bike. And unless you got hard cases with padlocks, yeah, it ain't good. Fuel range. Let's face it, most cars can go further than a motorcycle. It is a hassle, especially here in Australia. Not everyone wants to go with you. Not everyone wants to get on the back of a bike. Yeah, you could take someone, but hey, and you do spend some time thinking, gee, I wish I wasn't the only person to see this right now. Could start a YouTube channel. Cost. Yep, I know, I can hear it now. Yeah, I can go somewhere, pick up a cheap bike, trouble. Yeah, okay. Let's face it, for most of us, our motorcycle is a luxury item. We already own a car, so it's a big expense. You're paying that thing off, you got another rego to pay. Is it really cheaper to own a motorcycle so you can save a few bucks in fuel? Let's be really honest here. My Africa Twin gets about 7.5 litres per 100 kilometres. That's because I ride like a dickhead. My Mustang GT, it gets about 10 litres per 100 kilometres on the highway. Mustang GT, and it's had work done to it. The bike really isn't that much more fuel economical than the car. The weather. It rains, you're getting wet. It's hot, you're sweating. It's cold, you're freezing. In a car, you're in a nice little bubble that keeps you insulated from the outside world. More on that later. The pros of traveling on a motorcycle. This is the bit we've been waiting for, right? You're part of the landscape. You're experiencing it. You drop down into a cool gully, you feel the temperature drop. You ride past some roadkill, guess what? You're smelling it. Whenever I get close to home, I smell the sugarcane. I know I'm getting close. Another pro of traveling on a motorcycle is exactly one of the cons. You can't carry as much gear. You become a minimalist. That means you really start to learn how little you need, how much you don't need a lot of that stuff that you've got in everyday life. Honestly, a lot of us bike riders look at the four-wheel driving crowd and have a little chuckle about the amount of shit they're carrying around. You can stop when you want to stop. It's really easy to see a view go, oh, and do a U-turn up the road. That's a lot harder in a vehicle. You can park in little spaces. It's just a lot easier to have a look at the things you see. You seem to interact with people a lot more. You're that guy on the motorcycle, the mad guy, the guy that's doing it a bit different to everybody else. And everybody's got a motorcycle story. Most of them revolve around, I had a big crash and decided never to get on a bike ever again. But hey, it's more engaging. The things that make it difficult to travel on a motorcycle are part of what make it fun. You got to plan out your route a bit more. You got to consider the weather. You got to look at the climate. You got to take things into consideration a lot more. You got to use your head more. So it's just more engaging. And let's face it, hard times make great memories and even better stories. One of the best rides I ever had in my life was riding from Rockhampton to Townsville on an old VX800 in the pouring rain in the middle of the night, dodging kangaroos and riding through floodwater. I got home from that ride, dropped on a recliner with about 2 cents to my name. Everything I owned was wet. Well, everything that was on the bike because I had a house. Sat on that recliner and thought to myself, man, that was the best night ever. You become part of the tribe. Everybody wants to be part of a group. It's just human nature. And when you're on a bike, you pull up on a bike, you see another guy on a bike, you start talking bikes. And you know what? A lot of the time, it's somebody who you probably wouldn't even talk to. And it doesn't matter what he's riding. Yeah, even if he's on a Harley, I'll talk to him. I really don't care. But anyone on a bike, they're part of the tribe. They're part of the group. And you wave, you say hello, you take an interest, you swap stories. It's really one of the best things about riding a bike. The solitude, again, it's another one of those things that could be a con, but it's actually a pro. Sometimes it's good just to get out there and be in your own head, just be in your own space, not have to talk to anyone, not have to take anyone else into consideration, not have to worry about anybody else's safety, just to do you and just have fun doing what you're enjoying. It's just being out there with nothing and just having so little, being that nomad, being that guy on the bike. Because you know what, when we're out there, yeah, some of us have better gear than others, some of us don't. But we're just another person on a bike, guy or girl, and it's an adventure. You drive 1,000 kilometers in a car, you're in a little bubble. You've watched the outside temperature drop on the little readout on the TFT screen in the dash. You're insulated. You see it, but you're just watching it. You might as well be watching it on TV, to be really honest. You travel 1,000 Ks on a bike, man, you know you've traveled 1,000 Ks on that bike. You've gone through it, you've experienced it, you've been part of it. It really is an adventure. It's part of what makes it great. It's the hardship. It's the things that make it undesirable that make it desirable. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. It's about feelings, it's about emotion, it's about passion. That's what riding a bike is about. I could buy a four-wheel drive for less than I paid for my bike. I'd have more gear, I'd be more comfortable, I'd be cooler, I'd be warmer, I'd finish the day in a better state than I started with. I wouldn't have to buy helmets and pants and gloves and all that stuff that goes with riding a bike. I could sleep in a rooftop tent out of the rain, make it really simple. Yeah, I could do that, but I don't. I don't want to do that. I don't want to travel like that. I want to be part of it. I want to experience it. In my everyday life, like a lot of you, I have a limited amount of time off. And when I have that time off, I want to make the most of it. I want to make it as big an adventure as I can. So you know what? You don't have to justify riding that bike to anybody. Just do it because you love it. Do it because it's fun. Do it because you enjoy it. Ride the tits off it. Have a great time. I'm Fieldsy. I'll see you on the next video.